Hey, hi. It's currently 2 o'clock in Hong Kong right now. Um, since I'm going to do a video essay on Joe Haldeman's The Forever War sooner or later, I just want to say a few things. I've just began the book, like literally 2 pages in, but one thing that is particular to this book is its printing, because this was done by SF Masterworks, which is a great printer because of its retro sci-fi covers, which really does capture that old feel when it came out in the 1970s. And for a modern reader in 2021, it's easier for us to reimagine what it was like to first read this 50 years ago for people who are our senior. But anyways, this was published by Martin Gollancz, and one thing that I've noticed about the book is that the production quality is kind of high. And I mean this as in, when you get the book on hand, the physical quality of it is just crazy good. Like, just listen to the swoggle. I'm not sure if that sound picked up, but the book itself was very flexible. The covers weren't stiff, and the texture itself is smooth yet not not luxuriously smooth. So it's reasonably good, and it gives you that feel that this is a cheap paperback novel, but one that was handled with care and expertly. So it's a good reading experience. The pages feel smooth and just the right amount of thickness without being too thick, yet not too thin. They wouldn't melt right in your hands. So yeah, it's probably going to be a very good reading experience. And now I'm starting to get afraid that I'd spoil such a good-looking book with my sweat when I'm reading. But yeah, badass cover, cool-ass spine, great blurb in the back, great design, amazing woggle tone, and just impeccable page design, just impeccable. It's crazy. But yes. Right, so that is going to be part one. But anyways, let's actually talk about the book. So far I've read 3 pages, as I've said before, but what's so important about that is that it's actually one chapter. Yeah, it's actually already one chapter. And it's very interesting because the book begins with our cadet literally inside a boring ass session in which she's being taught how to kill people in 8 different ways. That's it, not a spoiler. Uniquely, I didn't expect the book to begin this way, because I honestly thought it was probably going to start off with this giant hallucination of him, right in the war and killing people. I've read the blurb on Wikipedia, I don't really know what's going on, but that's what I thought. But instead, this book begins with the boot camp training of our protagonist, and expletives are used, subtle world building in terms of describing the nature of Earth in 1997, in this fictional 1997. Also points out how little we know of the alien race and space travel, while also at the same time mentioning how the war is actually occurring. So while this is set in the boot camp for now, the threat of the war is still ever present, and it's being reminded in here. There's also that weird thing with a lady called Rogers who is sleeping in the same bunk bed. Seemed kind of platonic. It's weird. So my vibe is that it's kind of like a bunch of kids, teenagers really, in boot camp training to join something they have no idea of and aren't taking it super seriously, but they aren't being high school jocks about it and fooling around. They're just inexperienced, young, and knows nothing of what's going to happen. And I think that does a pretty good job of building up of giving us a good first impression of these characters. Because I'm very sure that throughout the book, weird, gnarly stuff is going to happen, and that's going to completely shatter their relatively naive experiences and expectations of war. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good, solid beginning. Yep, that's it.